Welcome back to Contemporary Black Voices, folks. And again, like we said in the previous segment, we're going to be talking about Congress's role in these protests and a little bit about what free speech is, what constitutes free speech. And I do want to touch on Representative Stefanik from New York. So a couple of things that she said. So she is a diehard MAGA Trump supporter now, and she has no problem in supporting Trump. She's been called Trump's mouthpiece in the House. And so when my thing is this, the Republican Party was up in arms when Trump was banned from Twitter and Facebook because he violated their what constitutes, I guess, their not free speech, but their what do you call their activities? I forgot what Facebook terms it, but their terms against violence or whatever it was. Hate speech. That's what it was. So the Republicans were up in arms about that. It violates Trump's free speech, blah 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 blah. And it doesn't matter how much hate speech and he's spewing. And so they even were talking about this Truth Social where you can say whatever you want about folks and all that kind of stuff. The other thing about this woman, though, she's been accused of misstating the elections in Georgia, Michigan. The other thing about this woman is she has no problem. She is a big defender of January the 6th. So those January 6th, the insurrection on January the 6th is something that she's termed as being free speech. However, the protests that these kids were having about peace and about ending the violence in Palestine, she terms that as hate speech. And so the kids, there was no violence that the kids perpetrated at all, but there was violence on January the 6th, which she's a big defender of. And so I want to talk about her, Chris. Let's talk about free speech and in Congress. And what do you think about what the Republicans have to say about this?
Republicans. Well, first of all, I'm going to say, as it relates to Republicans, these Republicans, not the Republicans of past, I wish I could get away with some of the stuff. Today they feel one way, and then tomorrow they feel another way, and it's okay with them. I mean, there's no problem. There's no conflict. There's nothing like that going on.
Right.
I think that this lady being a mouthpiece for Trump, the Jewish people had better watch out because I believe they're on a slippery slope. And what I mean by that is this. Trump made Jerusalem, I think, their capital.
Right. He did. He played to that audience, and he moved the capital, which is Israel has always wanted them to do, because they claimed Jerusalem, and so he finally moved the American embassy to Jerusalem.
So everybody, so most people would know that people have referred to Trump as the modern day Hitler. So when this lady in Congress, what's her name?
Stefanik.
Yeah, when she becomes the spokesperson and she wants everybody to side with Israel, there becomes a problem when those Israelis decide to do that. And then Trump gets elected, hypothetically, and then turns against the Jewish people as well, even though his son-in-law may be Jewish. He begins to turn against them because he's going to dictate the way he sees fit.
Right.
So I think that that's a slippery slope for them to go down. And I think from a global standpoint, we have just got to figure out how to coexist. I don't want to totally go into this, but, since Barack Obama as president, we have been on a slippery slope. Without a Barack Obama, there would not be, in my opinion, a Donald Trump. And if there wasn't a Donald Trump, we wouldn't have this type of the actions that are being taken by white folks against blacks, the type of laws that we have against women that are being made. None of this would be happening. I think it's all happening as a result of electing Barack Obama.
Oh yeah. Definitely. There was a backlash, a visceral backlash. That's where you had the emergence of the Tea Party. You had the emergence of this call for fiscal responsibility. But that kind of it was not there when George Bush the second blew through the deficit with 2 wars on the credit card. But it became an issue when Barack Obama became president, and then after he left office, once again it was no longer an issue because Donald Trump added more to the deficit than all the other previous presidents combined. So,
and I know we digress,
yeah.
but the thing, but a conversation for a different day
right.
is going to be: is it or was it worth for black folks to elect somebody like Barack Obama, considering the backlash that we're seeing now, not only in this country, but the hatred that's happening all over the world.
Right.
And I hope that in a future show, we can begin to talk about that.
So what do you, and that's a great topic, because what do? Do you not elect him because you're afraid of the repercussions that comes along? So, that'd be a great show. But, reeling this back into what we're talking about today, and the Republicans, though, and so is it free? It's only free speech if it's speech that they agree with.
Right. Right. Yeah. And free speech, what may be free speech today for you may not be free speech for you tomorrow.
Exactly. Right. Because that dictatorship for one day could end free speech.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. So no, but even then, so and again, and I know I keep harping on this point, and I keep going back to this point, but again, we get on the college kids a lot. We say they're sheltered. We say they're coddled, and we talk about how they're babied, and but when they actually take an initiative and go out there and speak up and try to exercise their voice and their power, if it's not something that the Republicans agree with, then all of a sudden we attack them for doing that. And so we can't have it both ways, and free speech can't only apply to the ideas that you like. And that was one of their arguments with Donald Trump when he was being racist. This man actually remember he said that Mexicans were drug dealers and rapists, and he called the drug mules. He said they had calves like cantaloupes, and remember he actually called for the police to when they're arresting black folks to hit their head against the. It was a call for violence.
I've never heard a president talk.
Yeah, never. But that speech was okay. You know what I mean? That was a-okay. But when you have kids that are saying, let's stop the war, let's stop the violence, let's pause, let's have a peaceful conversation, and all of a sudden that is anti-Semitic. How can a call for peace be anti-Semitic?
Caleb, I talked before, and I said the colleges really were a microcosm of what's happening in the United States. My firm belief is that the universities almost is where we should allow those type of things to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I believe that if we allow those things to happen at the university level, we may come up with a solution.
Absolutely.
Okay? Everybody has to be able to hear those both sides. And you've got the Palestinians, you've got the Israelis, and both of them are protesting, and both of them have, I think, good points. But we've got to figure out what is going wrong, how it can be addressed, and when hopefully it doesn't get to a violent standpoint, and it already has actually, but when it gets to a violent standpoint, when your kid is being a possible person who is the violence is perpetrated against, then you begin to look at the situation and say, look, I don't want this to happen to anybody else. We've got to figure out a solution to what's going on, which is the same way to me that the Vietnam War came to an end, is that when those kids started dying, the senators and so forth said, hey, look, we got to figure out a way to make this stop. And I think that's the very same thing that has to happen with this Palestinian-Israeli. I hate to put it this way, but let those games begin.
Yeah, no, and I definitely understand that point, because the solution is going to have to come from these kids in college. It's going to have to come from the next generation. You know what I mean? And so they're going to have to work this thing out. They're going to have to do some soul searching, and eventually the generation of tomorrow, who the future actually belongs to.
But let me say this.
Have to work that out.
Let me say this. Israel, you have already done enough for October 7th. These people can't fight back.
Yeah.
How are you going to just keep bombing and keep doing whatever? You got innocent babies and all kind of people that are there. It's time to stop this BS.
Yeah. They told the people to move to the South, and now they're attacking the South. They want the people to move to the West, and then they start attacking the West. So it is tragic, and it is tragic that the U.S. has actually vetoed a ceasefire, a call for peace, and so it's definitely a dire situation. Many folks are dying because of this war, and so. And
Farrakhan might have a lot of witnesses for his suit.
Yeah, more and more witnesses, right? But no, I mean, yeah, it's a call for peace, and it's probably the most tragic humanitarian situation that we have going on probably in the last 30 or 40 years, and so yeah, definitely. But again, it's been a great conversation today about this free speech, and about the representative who's leading the charge, and her hypocrisy, the hypocrisy of the Republican Party. Again, any closing remarks, Chris?
The closing remarks that I would have really deal with Black Video News, and how we need to make sure, please subscribe to the channel, please hit the like button, do those things that are necessary, and send us comments so that we know what you like and what you don't like. This channel is dedicated to what our audience likes and does not like. And so that's it.
Black Book.
And Black Book.
And the party, the release party. You got to tell them about the release party for Black Book. The Black Book is coming out bigger than ever.
Right.
Better than ever. Over 400 pages.
Right.
Over 1,000 advertisements.
Right.
And an awesome party that's coming up. And please, it's Eventbrite. You can get the tickets at Eventbrite.
Yep.
It's going to be an event to remember. Grab your tickets from Eventbrite, folks. And with that being said, we want to thank you for what?
Tell them to pick up Black Video News. I mean, Black Texas Life.
Black Life Texas.
Black Life Texas. Yeah.
You got to grab Black Life Texas newspaper. So you got to grab it. HEB, one of the locations, gyms. You'll find it in many locations, many of your favorite restaurants, and just around the city. Great newspaper, expanding, growing. Pick up Black Life Texas newspaper. And with that being said, we want to thank you for joining Contemporary Black Voices, folks. Fred, Sharon, we miss you guys. We'll see you. And that's it for today. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye.